Good evening, guys. How are we doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening wrap. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we will go straight over to those charts. That is the right way around. So yeah, for our chart first, yeah, as you can see, we've had quite a quiet day today. Yeah, looking like we are, well, I would say waiting for the markets to open later on, but it would only be, well, it just would be the world markets, X the US markets, because they are having the Labor Day holiday. But yeah, to me, I still maintain we want to come and at least test this area here, and then decide if we've got the momentum to break it or whether we get rejected down again like we did at the last back test to this level. So yeah, it's a case of can we get through this level. I would obviously wouldn't like to see Bitcoin fail where it is now, but obviously that is a possibility. But I do believe we have tested these low levels enough now for us to warrant at least a test of the top half. Sorry, the top of this range, this area that we're in. So yeah, that's kind of that's still kind of what I'm looking for. Obviously we had well, what would have been a 4-hour 9, and then what also would have been a 12-hour 9 as well. So that would have been here. So this is the candle, this is the level to take out, and that is 10,000. Oh, sorry. The level to take out is well, we'll call it 10,300. So if we get above 10,300, and well, close some candles, close some, like, say 1 hour, 2 hour candles above that level, above 10,300. What I think that would do is be enough to get us basically to the top of that range, then get us to the 10,600. Well, 10,500, 10,600 level, when we will then see if we have the strength to break it, or whether we get rejected, rejected back down, to then look very bearish again and try and have a go at this CME gap, this fabled CME gap that everyone is obsessing over, or whether we just get a bit of consolidation at the high, before then actually breaking through. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking with that. If we have a look at some of these stochastics, if we get this one up, yeah, you can see the 4 hour moving up nicely now. Not much further to go till we're in the bullish half, and then we can probably try and get that momentum to get us above 10,300. Then that should be good enough to get us to 10,500, and then it is a case of how we want to react to that 10,500 area. 10-hour Stokes is still down here, you can see. All I will say, if we get to 10,300, this will probably turn back up, and then, well, it'll at least start to move back up. Obviously it won't be making any real progress instantly. 12-hour has turned back up as well, and remember 12-hour is the one. 12-hour is, this is how you trade Bitcoin, just the 12-hour Stokes. So yeah, 12-hour Stokes turning back up. Obviously it's not uncommon for it to stay to turn back down, like in much the same way we did it here. But I will still maintain we are in an overall macro bull trend, so I believe it's harder for us to get jammed down here than it is for us to get jammed up here. So I think well, I think stroke hope that basically we have got the ability to actually start to make some progress on this 12-hour Stokes, and a nice move up on this 12-hour Stokes. I think that'll pretty much get us to 11k. It'll get us through that 10,500, 10,600 area. It'll get us up to 11k, and then we will, well, that's where things will start to look really good if we do break through there. But do I think we'll blast straight through? Not really. I think we would actually come down and test 10,600 as actual real support this time, coming down from a more reasonable level of 11k, which would be like a $400 move down, rather than coming down from a 12,000 move. a $12,000 price point, which would be obviously is a $1,1200 move, so quite a significant move, which is why we probably had the momentum to bust through this important level. So yeah, like I said, if we get up to 11k, if that 12-hour Stokes does start to make a move, gets us to 11k, I think a likely scenario would be to actually fully and formally come and test 10,600 as a support, turn back up, take out 11k, and we will be off on our merry way. Daily is turning down though. Well, I would say as long as we don't get below this level here, then it won't look too bad. And again, if we get to 10,300, we won't get below this level, and this will start to it will start to at least flatten out a bit, even if it doesn't turn over. 2 days coming down, 3 day not looking too good, 5 day turning down, weekly turning down, bi-weekly starting to turn down, and monthly still looking good. So yes, certainly on these, if we go back over to our main chart, I mean, if we are in a longer term move down here, I still would pretty much expect a minimum of 11k to then be a level where some real selling would come back in, if it was going to come back in based on these higher time stochastics. And yeah, and I'd expect basically us to put in a lower high around these levels before then potentially turning around and actually coming and taking out these levels, if that is what we're going to do. If we get back up there and take it out, then yeah, that is fine. What I think of those two options, the third option, which I think is the most likely, is that we do just turn around here and just tank. But obviously, if we have a bad week for stocks, if the Nasdaq carries on with this sell-off, which I don't think it will do, we have obviously of this whole move. I mean, this whole move, we have had the worst, 2-day move from obviously high to low. Then we've had the whole move, and this candle here may even be the worst move candle range wise, well, for a long time. I don't really see any candles any bigger, any red ones, in all fairness, apart from these couple down here. Obviously the good thing about it is though, is we were brought all the way back up, and we even managed to close back above the daily 21, and like I said, following the daily 20 up is ideal. So this does look like we are going to get well, I say it looks like it's obviously got bought up. So if we do start to trade higher again, it looks like we will then just get continuation with the trend, and we've had a flush out of basically the people that have basically been buying this trend line all the way up. Buy the trend line, 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 get stopped out. That's kind of what this looks like, and now we're back above the trend line. So basically the guys that got stopped out got to buy back in now. So yeah, so there we can have it. And obviously a lot of them did, some people did buy back in, and we did get that move up. So if obviously we were down here and we closed the candle down here that far out of this trend line, that would clearly be like 5 times worse than the situation we find ourselves in. Just to put an arbitrary number on it, it would be considerably worse. But the fact we got brought all the way back up, all the way back into the channel, all the way above the daily 21, and we have this long wick as well, then it makes things look a lot better. So yeah, that is the Nasdaq, that is stocks. So yeah, that is it really, guys. Yeah, we kind of had the low, a slightly lower low and a slightly lower low. We've obviously flushed out the people that tried to call these bottoms with slightly lower lows, with stops basically at those levels. So are we going to have a fourth push down, or are we going to try and liquidate some shorts now? Are we going to try and liquidate some of those shorters? And by we, I mean the royal we, the proverbial we, not that we is a proverb, but and I mean just like the market as a whole. Is that what they're going to try and do? So I think we're going to find out this week. So yeah, that is it. One thing of note is that some of these altcoins are having a bit of a bounce today, which is a barometer of confidence in the markets, because obviously altcoins are definitely high beta, high risk plays on crypto. So if people are dipping their toes back into those, then that obviously indicates a certain level of less fear, I would say, in what is going on. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys in the morning.